the morning routine. How to build a morning that actually moves your life forward. Before we dive in, let's address something honestly. You've probably heard the saying, the way you start your day is the way you'll spend it. There is real truth in that. Not because mornings are magic, but because chaos tends to breed more chaos, and order tends to breed more order. What you do in the first hour of your day sets a psychological tone, a level of energy, and a direction that carries through everything that follows. That's not a cliche. That's just how momentum works. So today we're going to build a morning routine, one that gives you maximum order, energy, and clarity at the start of every day. Even if you've heard about morning routines before, stay with me. There are frameworks and perspectives here that most people haven't considered, and by the end you'll have something concrete to implement today. Why you need a strong why first. Before building your routine, you need to understand why you want one. This isn't motivational filler, it's practical. If your reason for waking up earlier or changing your mornings is vague, it won't survive the first hard week. But if your reason is specific and personal, it becomes fuel. So ask yourself, what do I actually want more of? Here are the 6 reasons a morning routine delivers real value, so you can find which ones matter most to you. 1. You wake up with a reason to get up. When your morning contains things you've chosen, things that energize and interest you, your alarm stops feeling like an attack. You know what's waiting for you, and part of you looks forward to it. 2. It's time that belongs only to you. Before the world wakes up, before your phone fills with messages and requests, there is a window of silence that is entirely yours. No one needs anything from you. No obligations have started yet. For anyone with kids, a demanding job, or a busy household, this window is genuinely rare and genuinely precious. Many people go their whole lives without ever carving out time just for themselves. A morning routine creates that time by design. 3. It raises your energy. Movement, reading, reflection, done consistently in the morning, give your body and mind a foundation to work from. You are not scrambling to catch up all day. You've already invested in yourself before the day's demands begin. 4. It reduces stress. When you have no routine, you wake up and immediately react to news, to notifications, to whatever problem presents itself first. A morning routine means you start your day on your terms, not everyone else's. That shift alone, from reactive to intentional, lowers baseline stress noticeably, often from the very first day. 5. It creates guaranteed progress in the things that matter to you. In a normal day, the small important things get crowded out by the urgent ones. Working on your posture, learning a language, practicing a skill, these things rarely survive the chaos of a full day. But if you put them into your morning routine, they happen every single day, no matter what. Progress becomes guaranteed simply because the time is protected. 6. It can do something far bigger than all of the above, and we'll come back to this one. The one thing that should never appear in your morning. Before we talk about what to include, let's be clear about what to cut. Your phone. Specifically, social media and news. Here is why this matters more than most people realize. When you open social media first thing in the morning, you are not looking at the present, you are processing a feed of yesterday, other people's opinions from last night, news from 12 hours ago, comments, reactions, highlights from other people's lives. Your brain, which is at its most impressionable in the morning, gets immediately loaded with content that is largely reactive, comparative, and negative in tones. Instead of building forward momentum toward your own goals, you spend your first 20-30 minutes absorbing everyone else's yesterday. The result is that subtle but familiar feeling of dissatisfaction, the sense that you've already fallen behind before your day has even started. This is a hard habit to break, because scrolling genuinely does help some people wake up. It's stimulating. But there is a significant difference between waking up and feeling flat versus waking up and feeling genuinely ready. We want the latter, and we'll get it through the routine itself. So the rule is simple. No phone, no social media, no news for at least the first hour of your day. The 3-block framework. There is no single perfect morning routine that works for everyone. But there is a structure that works well as a starting point, and you can adapt it entirely to your own life. It consists of 3 blocks. Block 1, movement. This is where you wake your body up, and it works far better than your phone ever will. Movement could be a warm-up, yoga, a run, a walk, posture exercise. Block 2, inspiration. Once you are physically awake, This is the time to fill your mind with something worthwhile. For some people, this is reading, fiction, nonfiction, philosophy, whatever genuinely interests and motivates you. For others, it's a podcast, an audiobook during a walk, or a period of meditation. The goal of this block is to put quality input into your mind before the world fills it with noise. Whatever consistently leaves you feeling energized and clear-headed belongs here. Block 3. Direction. This is a short but powerful block where you review what you are working toward and what today looks like specifically. You might look over your goals, review your plan for the day, or spend a few minutes thinking about your priorities. This creates a sense of orientation. You know where you are headed, and you know what today's role in that journey is. In terms of time, these blocks can be split however suits your life. A 20-minute routine might be 10 minutes of movement, 5 of reading, and 5 of reviewing your day. An hour-long routine might give 25 minutes to each. There is no required breakdown. What matters is that all 3 elements show up consistently. As a concrete example, a 90-minute morning might look like this: 8 minutes of warm-up, 20 minutes of posture and mobility work, 25 minutes of reading, and 15 minutes reviewing goals and the day's plan. Simple, repeatable, and completely yours once you fill it with what works for you. Morning Routine 2.0, the Progress Routine. Now for the 6th factor, the one that can change everything about how fast your life actually moves forward. Here is the honest limitation of a standard morning routine. Meditation is valuable, reading is valuable, movement is valuable, but none of them directly produce outcomes in the external world. They create the best possible conditions for progress, but they are not progress itself. Morning Routine 2.0, which I call the Progress Routine, adds one critical element: a dedicated time block spent working directly on a project, skill, or goal that will meaningfully change your life in the months ahead. This is not journaling about your goals. This is working on them, right? Building the business, developing the course, learning the skill that will open the next door. Whatever project you've been putting off because life keeps getting in the way, this is where it goes. Here is why the morning is uniquely powerful for this kind of work. Research on cognitive performance suggests that many people experience their highest levels of creative and analytical focus in the early morning hours, before the cognitive load of the day accumulates, though it's worth noting this varies by individual and chronotype. What's consistent, however, is the environmental advantage. In the early morning, there are no interruptions, no messages to respond to, no problems to put out. The world hasn't made any demands of you yet, and that silence is extraordinarily productive. The second reason this works is psychological. You get guaranteed progress. If you block 6 o'clock to 7:00 every morning for a specific project, that project moves forward every single day. Not when you find time, not when you feel like it, every day. Think about how many ideas and projects you've had that remained ideas simply because they never got a protected time slot. The Progress Routine fixes that. The third reason is timing. During a normal workday, it's nearly impossible to focus on long-term projects when short-term fires are burning. Bills, deadlines, urgent messages, they all pull your attention to what needs solving right now. The morning, before all of that begins, is the only reliably quiet space where you can work on something that won't pay off for 3 months or 6 months or a year. That's exactly the kind of work that changes your life. And it requires exactly the kind of protected time that the Progress Routine provides. In practice, this might look like a 30-minute or 2-hour block added after your standard morning routine. The duration is less important than the consistency. 30 focused minutes every morning adds up to over 180 hours in a year, more than enough to write a book, build a product, or master a new skill. Putting it all together. Before implementing any of this, make sure your sleep schedule supports it. Waking at 5:30 a.m. only works if you are also sleeping by 10 or 10:30 p.m. The routine doesn't create extra hours, it reorganizes the ones you already have. A sample full morning might look like this: wake at 5:30, movement from 5:30 to 5:50, reading from 5:50 to 6:10, direction review from 6:10 to 6:20, then progress routine from 6:20 to 7 o'clock. 40 focused minutes on your most important project every single day before your regular day even starts. That's the system: movement, inspiration, direction, progress. No phone, no news, just you, your goals, and enough quiet to actually work toward them. Start today.